Wednesday video, as promised. I really hope something doesn't go wrong in the editing that causes me to upload this late, because that'll be embarrassing. So I'm really tired today because I was up late last night stumbling wildly into a rabbit hole of nostalgia, and it all started with Facebook's On This Day feature. And that's already been a pretty constant source of nostalgia. I've had a Facebook account for more than 10 years now. Like, I signed up back when you needed to have a college address to sign up, and not even every college was even on Facebook. So right now I'm getting posts from 10 years ago when I first signed up, which means a lot of the things I'm seeing from back then are people that I met my freshman year of college, people that I haven't talked to or even thought of in years and years and years. Seeing those names again is weird in its own right, but the thing that really kicked this whole nostalgia fest off was seeing some of the notes from a while back. I used to have a blog that was synced with Facebook, which means if I posted something on it, the notes would show up in Facebook, which led me back to that blog that I haven't visited in years, and I started to go back over some of my old posts. I started blogging in like 2002-ish, back when I was still a freshman or sophomore in high school. I don't know what I posted about because a few years later I completely deleted everything. I had a fit of embarrassment about some of the stuff that I'd posted and just decided it needed to be off the internet. So I deleted the whole thing and started from scratch. But that still means the archives that I do have date back all the way to 2004 up until about 2012, which is when I stopped using that. There was a time, I think around 2010, that I went on another similar binge, but instead of actually deleting all the posts, I realized that I might want to revisit them someday, so I just unpublished a lot of things that I didn't think were important anymore. But they're still there, so I could still go back over them, which is what I did last night. Usually when I look back on stuff like this, it's a reminder of how much things have changed. There are a lot of things that aren't relevant to me anymore. Lots of girl troubles and school troubles, complaining about homework, mentioning friends that I don't even really talk to anymore. But that's not really what freaked me out. What freaked me out was how much hadn't changed. They say that memory is really powerfully linked to your sense of smell. Like, you can smell a familiar thing, and it's really likely to bring you back to a familiar place or a familiar time or an event, because those parts of your brain are just really connected. And for me, it's always been music that's been like that. Like, there are certain songs or certain sounds that instantly bring me back to a memory or a place. Like, when I hear mid-90s pop rock, it instantly brings me back to my bedroom when I was a kid, where I would sit on the floor playing with Legos with the radio going on my boombox that was sitting on top of my bookshelf. Whenever I hear those songs, it's an extremely vivid picture. The reason that I'm mentioning this is because a lot of the titles of the blog posts were lines from songs. Almost without fail, every single one of them was a line from some song, and as I was looking through the list of post titles, every single time I would read it, that song would instantly enter my head. Songs and groups that I haven't listened to for a long time would just suddenly start playing, all of them at once as I went through the list. And hearing those songs in my head and reading over the posts, it was a lot easier to shift back into the mindset of the person who wrote those posts. And I say the person who wrote those posts and not me, because there's a weird thing that happens with anything autobiographical. It was written by you, but it was a different version of you, and it wasn't the you that you are now, so it was like you wrote them, but also somebody else wrote them. Like, they're your stories to tell, but somebody else lived them. And that's completely normal. There's an expectation that you are a different person than you were then in some way. And that's definitely true for me. I'm not the same person I was back then. But what bothered me was how many things seem to have not changed. Going all the way back into the archives in 2004, I'm already posting about how I have trouble going to bed on time. I have trouble with getting things done. I have days that I feel like I didn't accomplish anything, even though I had plenty of time to do something. There's just this continual theme from 2004 onward of frustration and disappointment in myself, of not doing the things that I say I'm going to do or doing the things that I know I should be doing. And that's something that never changes in 8 years of archives. Hell, it even becomes a pattern back then. In 2010, I made a post about how the things hadn't changed over the years. Looking back and seeing that pattern made me think that none of the changes I'd made since then were authentic. Like, they were all just reactive adjustments made as a requirement of moving through time. Looking back on those similarities made it hard to feel like I wasn't that same exact person rocketed forward 10 years. I just have less homework and more disposable income now. And that also makes me feel kind of stuck in the past. I'm still dealing with the same things like insomnia and not being able to get enough done. I still pretty much listen to the same music I listened to back then. I'm still into a lot of the same kinds of things I was into back then. In all of the proactive ways, I haven't really done new things. I haven't met as many new people as I did back then. I have no idea what I'm actually trying to say. Here's where I'm at with nostalgia. I look back and see the things that I don't have anymore, and I'm kind of sad that they're gone. Like, the people that I used to spend a lot of time talking to, the things that I used to spend a lot of time doing that have just vanished from my life. Things that I never think about anymore, that I don't even really miss sometimes. But I'm still kind of sad that they're gone. And on the other side of the coin, the things that have stayed the same make me feel like I've stagnated and nothing has happened since then, and that I've completely wasted all of my time. I've honestly completely lost track of my point now. I was up way too late looking at these stupid posts. I mean, I know that I have changed since then, and I don't feel like all of it was from an outside force. Like, I obviously had something to do with at least some of it. Maybe I just don't feel like I've changed enough. Maybe I just feel like I've changed in the wrong ways. I don't know. Okay, well, I have to edit this video because I made a promise. So long, St. Elmo's Fire. I will see you soonish, hopefully. It's getting kind of lonely out here without the rest of you, so I hope to see you soon. So we can get better, because we're not dead yet. We can get better, because we're not dead yet.